folks, we got another controversy. Yup, once again, we're gonna be finding out in this week, is this a case of toxic and problematic gamers, or is the game really bad? Drop a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, because when you look at this situation, gamers gone mad. Gamers say that this game is absolute trash. Save your money for the Dead Space remake. And I want to know how much truth there is. You probably are wondering the same, right? Because when you go over on the Metacritic, the real reviews, it is sitting at 76. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I look at 76, I'm like, bro, that's a G-spot hitter. 76, that's considered one of the best games. 76 is a crazy number. If I hear a 6 out of 10, I'm like, bro, okay, that's like a decent game. I'm in Canada. When you get a 60%, that's passing. You're actually passing it. 6 out of 10, that's like average. That doesn't mean it's bad. That doesn't mean it's good. Yeah, hell, some people would even go down as like, bruh. They would even go down as 5 out of 10. They would say that's a good one. But then you look at this and say that, please spend some time playing the game. So that's when we're gonna be getting like the real expert reviews. That's when it's gonna get crazy. But fear not, ladies and gentlemen, those real reviews are already here. We're gonna be actually getting into it because you got skill up saying that don't buy the game. There is like people, there are YouTubers making crazy amount of videos on it saying that the game is bad. And admittedly, as someone who is looking at the game and looked at the gameplay, thought it was kind of cool but not fully sold, I want to know like what's the situation. We're gonna be getting into it. Drop a thumbs up and let me know your thoughts as well, if you bought it or not.
This game kind of sucks, and I feel bad saying that. I really wanted Callisto Protocol to be fantastic. I'm a big lover of survival horror, and honestly, I love those spooky games that have you creeping through hallways and trying to save that one last bullet. But sadly,
yeah, me too, man. I love horror games. I love horror games.
This isn't really survival horror. It's not really anything other than a very janky project. But I want to talk about the good and the bad. What's up, gamers? Dreamcastguy here. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could like this video,
yo, get your grandma to like the video as well. But yeah, hit the like, subscribe to the homie as well,
and subscribe if you haven't already. This is my brutally honest review for Callisto Protocol. Now, I do have to make a quick technical note. All of this gameplay was recorded on the PlayStation 5. Apparently, this game is totally busted on the PC, and honestly, it seems like even on the
I'm not even shocked. I'm not even shocked. Like, how many times we have seen more mostly negative? Yo, 4,000 reviews. Are you guys out of your goddamn mind? Like, every game comes out like this, man. Especially on PC, man. Like, y'all mother truckers are getting done absolutely dirty. It's like going to a car shop, right? And buying a car, secondhand even, but it doesn't come out with a steering wheel. Bruh. What would you rate it, guys? Would you rate it 1 out of 10? Would you rate it 10 out of 10? 7 out of 10? 5 out of 10? I don't know, man, but it works. This is, I'm used to it. Pretty sure you're used to it as well. But 2 years later, this is gonna get some of the best reviews ever. It's gonna be mostly positive because in 2 years time, most of the gamers would have accepted defeat, and also the problems that we are having or gamers are having right now would be fixed as well. But I'm not sure, man. I'm still not convinced. Is it toxic gamers or is the game actually bad? We're gonna check it out, man.
Xbox Series X, it's having a lot of bad frame rate issues. Only the PlayStation 5 version of this game runs even halfway decent, which is kind of shocking. But for this review, I want to divide it into 3 separate chunks. I want to talk about the story, I want to talk about the very controversial combat, and finally, I want to talk about the graphics and some of the weird choices they've made. Let's begin by...
honestly, graphics are fine. They're not crazy, but they're not bad either.
Briefly talking about the paper-thin story of Callisto Protocol, because honestly, the plot is practically non-existent. This dude is Jacob. That's who we're playing as. Now, Jacob's job is to drive freight through space. He's a space trucker. One day, while delivering a big shipment of medical supplies to this far-off planet, this moon called Callisto, it's got a prison colony on it, suddenly his ship goes down. Somebody tries to hijack it, it gets shot. Next thing he knows, he's crashed and arrested. The warden of the prison decides to...
What? They got Babylon in space as well? Oh my god! Where's bro?
Bro? Incarcerate him to just file him into the system. And if that's not bad enough, suddenly, space zombies completely take over the complex. Now, for 99% of this game, you have no idea what's going on. Like, straight up, they don't explain what these creatures are.
Horror games! Horror! That's how horror games are, bro.
Why you specifically got arrested, I mean, who these people are. There's a lot of people that call you up over the freaking intercom and go, hey, go unlock that door. None of this makes any dang sense. But honestly, I don't really have a problem with that. I think sometimes the best horror games kind of trap you in that fugue state. They keep you mildly confused so that you're uncomfortable. My problem...
Hey man, listen, that's such a gamer response. Yeah guys, it's bad, but I don't got no problem with it. I mean,
comes down to this very strange combat. This game is mostly a brawler. You have guns, and they can be fired whenever you want, but most of this game is just about dodging and bashing people in the face with your stun baton. Anytime an enemy starts to get close to you, you get locked into this combat stance, where basically you're trying to land the longest melee combos to kill these enemies before more show up. But the weirdness of this is the dodge system. Now, some people have said they completely hate this. I guess I don't particularly mind it. For some reason, Jacob is a martial arts badass. I mean, this guy straight up is dodging super strength creatures from beyond the grave like it's nothing. Whenever an enemy...
But here's a question though, like this is gonna actually make you think a little bit, okay? Can Jacob dodge microtransactions though? Can he do that?
Is starting to swing their fists. You press left or right on the joystick and it will automatically dodge. Once you've dodged, you can start to land special critical strikes. This might sound like it requires timing or special reaction speed or something like that, but really, no, it doesn't. You just literally hold left or hold right, and as long as you keep alternating directions, you can just dodge and dodge and dodge. Even if there's multiple enemies, you can just keep dodging them forever. It feels kind of bizarre.
Pump the brakes, pump the brakes. Now, as someone who's ignorant, as somebody who's not into this game, as somebody who saw that, I was like, okay, well, whatever. I'm not gonna buy it because I'm not the target audience. Listen, man, like I'm not saying that, or I wasn't saying that as a toxic and problematic gamer and YouTuber. I was just saying that because, like, I'm not the target audience, right? Just like how you do not want to be buying, like, Peppa the Pig. I was not the target audience, okay? I looked at it, I was like, the game is looking kind of odd. And the things that he's describing, to me, they sound kind of fine. I mean, if you want, you can shoot, but if you want to go, like, brawling mode, you can press square, square, triangle. I mean, you can do that too. To me, that doesn't sound like a problem, but again, I'm an ignorant gamer when it comes to Callisto, so let's see.
To just be constantly shifting around so many enemy attacks, because a lot of these guys are supposed to be big, gooey, crazy monsters, but they're kind of harmless. I mean, you can just straight up shirk past them so easily that it just doesn't even make sense. Even on
the Toxic Gamer, they're gonna drop a 2 gigabytes of update where they're gonna buff it. I mean, if people complain about it, they're gonna do it, probably, right?
Normal difficulty, maybe. I very rarely used bullets. Now, you've probably noticed that sometimes in the middle of a melee combo, it will randomly pop up a targeting reticule. You can actually combo together your guns with your hits. So if you like punch, punch, shoot, punch, punch, shoot. But almost never did I really use this because most of these guys I could kill so fast, other than the tentacle guys. About 2/3 of the way through the game, or maybe halfway through the game, they introduced the idea.
Okay, so the conclusion here is that make the enemies buff or buff them. Right? That's okay. Fair.
Of evolution, where these guys, whenever they start to get these little wormies coming out of their chest, you have to kill them as quick as possible. If they don't die in the next 5 seconds, they evolve in a super version of themselves. Now, typically, the way you do this is just save up your shotgun shells. If it really comes down to it, if you can't melee them down and finish them off, you shotgun them to make sure they're good and dead. But I guess, to me, this all just feels so incredibly strange because, honestly, these enemies, from a design standpoint, look fantastic. I think, artistically, I like the fact that everybody looks like mutated plague victims. Some of these dudes straight up look like living beehives or something like that. I think that's incredibly cool, but they're so freaking harmless. I mean, why even waste a bullet on a guy that possibly can't even...
Yo, they need to... Okay, Callisto Protocol devs. You guys gotta buff the enemies. What y'all doing? Y'all gotta buff them, bruh.
Get to me before I'm going to melee combo him to hell. But let's talk about upgrades. So this game does not have very much exploration. There's a couple side paths, but it's not like there's side quests or any alternate objectives. It's very much like the original Dead Space. It's just point A to point B to point C. You're just basically like...
I feel like that's such a subjective thing, right? I do like games that are point A to point B, right? But it depends. It really depends. For example, games like Uncharted 1, 2, 3, they were pretty linear. Yeah, there was some stuff that you could explore. Yeah, you could have gone here and there. Yeah, you could have looted treasures, which was a really good mechanic, which was a really good feature in the game, and that kept you playing the game a little bit more, maybe go back to it, find all the treasures. But on on paper, Uncharted 1, 2, and 3, they were pretty linear game. It was point A to point B. It was just story heavy, right? And a lot of people love that, including myself. So I feel like that some people would like this aspect, but if the exploration is kind of pointless there, it really depends, right? Because Uncharted 4, there was a lot more exploration. Yep, there were some parts where I kind of got a little bit bored, but overall the exploration was actually very good. So if they work on that, make it so like you can go point A to point B, but you can also explore, keep it like substantially there. It really, my point here is that it really depends though, right? As someone who loved Uncharted 1, 2, and 3, I also loved Uncharted 4. But the exploration part, that's like a hit or miss with some people. Either you're gonna like it or you're not gonna like it. And it also depends on if there is a lot of exploration, is the exploration pointless, or does that actually make sense, or does that feel rewarding? Is that really complements, does it complements the story? Because if that does that, then you know what, that's actually A+. That's like really good. But if it doesn't, then there's no point of having like exploration. Just make it point A to point B. But if you're gonna do that, then your story needs to be really high up there. Then your story needs to be like just a killer. But people are already saying, man, Callisto Protocol story isn't that good, so bruh. I don't know, man.
Opening up a bulkhead and then trying to climb down an air shaft, it's very, very straightforward. But occasionally, in certain chapters, there will be a side path that typically leads to a supply box. Now, inside of these is stuff like medkits, it's more bullets, and it's also stuff you can sell at the shop. So occasionally, about twice a chapter, you come across these big storefronts, which use prison money. This planet, Callisto, for some reason, pays everybody in just Callisto credits. It seems like
like, they also got money there. Can a brother get everything for free, at least in space? Like, damn, man, like oh, come on, son, come on,
and the
man.
prisoners have a bunch of Callisto credits. Now, spending this, you can, in a lot of ways, completely change the nature of some of your weapons. A lot of these upgrades are kind of useless, in my opinion, because really, I don't care about how much clip or how fast I can reload.
Yo, personally, I don't know about this. Like, I don't know how I feel about this, because like it's the same thing with God of War Ragnarok, right? The UI, to me at least, God of War Ragnarok, excellent game. I got nothing bad to say other than the progression part or upgrading part, selling part. Yep, there's some stuff that you can sell in God of War in Ragnarok as well. Perfectly fine. I'm fine by that. But the UI just feels kind of complicated. Maybe it's just me. The story is excellent, and that's all that matters to me. That's all what matters to mostly, like a lot. That's what matters mostly to most of the people, right? If the story is good, then you got a dang good freaking game. And if the graphics are good after that, you got a killer, okay? You got a really good game. And then if you can have, if you can nail the UI, and if you can nail the progression and the upgrading system, then that's actually really good. But I just didn't like the upgrades were nice, but the way you would upgrade in Ragnarok, it was just kind of complicated, right? And I feel the same way with games like that. It's like Modern Warfare 2 UI as well. Like Modern Warfare 2 UI, who makes those UIs, bro? I just don't understand. Keep it simple, man. Keep it simple, bro.
My pistol because the shotgun is better, and really the best weapon of all is just the standard stun baton. This is just such a melee focused game. Put all of your points into extending your combo, unlock the heavy attack, and unlock more damage for your weapon. I maxed it out. I saved up every credit, I did every side little path I could, and once I maxed out my baton, I was bashing people to bits. But there's also this weird stealth system. If you manage to creep up behind an enemy before they see you, you can instant kill them. Now the reason this feels just so underbaked
is that kind of gives me Last of Us 2 vibes,
because pretty much towards the halfway point of the game, they start to introduce enemies that have no eyes. And I mean, basically, they seem half deaf as well.
Bruh.
I chain killed so many of these dudes. I could just stealth kill again and again and again, because stealth kill is completely silent, it seems like. It does not alert the other enemies. It doesn't cause any downside. It is a free instant kill. And stuff like this just almost seems counterintuitive. Am I
toxic gamers?
supposed to be scared.
That's what they would say, not me. That's what they would say, okay?
A question I asked so many times throughout the course of Callisto Protocol. What part of this is supposed to be terrifying? Is there any specific part of this that was intended to try and creep me out or unnerve me? Because it never really felt like that horror ever connects, because every fight feels so scripted.
Bro, like I feel like that bro is really desensitized. I feel like that bro really didn't turn off the lights. You gotta turn off the lights, and that's when it's gonna be scary. I mean, damn, son. Damn, man. But listen, okay, maybe he has a point. Maybe you also were not scared, because when I look at this gameplay, it doesn't feel that scary. I don't know, man. Like, it doesn't feel that scary.
Scripted, so easy. It's just dodge, dodge, hit, dodge, dodge, hit, and then even if you have to stealth kill or shoot a little tiny bit.
Okay, here it kind of feels kind of scary, though, actually.
It doesn't really feel that advanced. Oh yeah, Jacob also gets like a telekinesis glove, so in case you weren't overpowered enough, you can't just straight up pluck things out of the environment. You can just grab different boxes, explosive barrels, or even enemies and just shove them into huge mechanical cheese graters that are all over the place. This game is not just too easy, it's not scary because it's just so easy. Even when I managed to die or screwed up, I missed a dodge and I get bad animation of somebody ripping my face off.
0 out of 10, not scary enough, IGN. Boys, ladies and gentlemen, man, ladies and gentlemen, that's it, that's it.
It always felt like I just misplayed. It never felt like the enemies were spooky or scary or that dangerous. Everything in this game just feels like, oh, did you press left stick fast enough? Well then congrats, you're going to keep fighting for another day. But that does bring me to the final part of this that I feel like is incredibly important, which is the visual presentation. I do think that Callisto Protocol is gorgeous. I think the audio design is fantastic as well. I think a lot of times that cool gooiness to the enemies moving around, even in different parts of the station, the cries of help that you occasionally hear, finding the audio logs where sometimes you'll hear the previous records of the scientists, the doctors, or even the incarcerated prisoners themselves. I think that is such a great touch. It does feel like this is a very living world. But again, this brings me to the downside of this, which is the fact that a lot of stuff in the environment is repeated. Like you can see times right here, this is the same piece of graffiti again and again and again. It says, don't make sound. It's painted in the exact same style every single time, which makes it not seem natural. It's very immersion breaking to see the same fake graffiti stamped again and again. Even stuff like this that's very, very dramatic.
Okay, listen, man. Listen. Hey, man, listen. Is that toxic and problematic gamer talking, or are you thinking he has a point? Because I don't even mind stuff like that. Yeah, if the entire area is like remaster, rehash, recycle like a Call of Duty game, that's when I would be like, yo, bro, you got 3 years, 3,000 devs. Can a brother get a new map? Yep, I'm gonna say that. I have said that for Call of Duty. Like, those mother truckers, bro, like, they would recycle the entire game, the entire areas, and put it there. But just like one, like, writing on the wall, I don't find that problematic. Maybe I'm a toxic gamer, bruh. Or maybe I'm a defeated gamer. I am a defeated gamer, but am I really getting to the point where I don't find a problem with that? Damn, son, like, I gotta actually up the standards, Kanji.
Dramatic, like cut off the tentacles. All right, that's cool, that's spooky. But then you go to a different part and suddenly they just have the exact same lettering in a different spot. Like, a lot of times it feels like this game feels like it's trying to remind you that you're just sitting in a dark room with a controller in your hand. You can never believe the fear. You can never feel that immersion finally consume you. It's always so painfully obvious.
Okay, okay, on that he does have a point, and I get it. It says review, it says opinion, which is perfectly fine. I mean, like, to me, I don't find that too problematic unless the entire area is basically rehash and recycle. That's when it would be like really immersion breaking for me. That's when I would be like, bruh. You know what I mean? But other than that, I don't find that too problematic though. But I get where he's coming from though. That's the thing, man. I get
this is a very video game. There's even a lot of small details that to me just seem so out of place. Like at one point I was walking along and I noticed all these like recruitment posters. Like, hey, come become a cop. But this is on a planet of cops. I mean, this literally, I do not understand. Maybe I'm missing the point, but this feels like a we're hiring poster at Walmart inside the break room of Walmart. The only people that would see
Walmart, waste money, live harder.
This already have the job. Like stuff like this again and again Callisto Protocol feels like it wants to be Dead Space 2. It feels like it's trying to be that big, lived-in world that's packed with monsters that you want to stomp on.
After all, it's made by the same team of Dead Space, no? After all, they're probably gonna have some similarities. It's the same studio, so same devs, right? Like, so yeah, it's gonna have some similarities, but yeah, it's a different game. It's called different. It's not that, but still it's gonna have similarities because it's the same. And people, I feel like some fans expect that too, right? Because if it's the same studio, they wanna have some similarities, but
it just feels like a big step down from the efforts we know the studio for best. I gotta say, I am genuinely disappointed. I am seriously sad that this game isn't better, but now that we've heard some good and some bad, let's go over to the ratings board and put a big number on it.
Ow! Ow! Rating board! Yo, is that Peppa the Pig? Yo, bruh. Okay, how much is he gonna give? The real expert reviews are 76. But, no, I should say the expert reviews are 76, but the real expert reviews, at least on PC, are mostly negative, but we're still waiting. It says, please, spend some time. But I want to know Dreamcast reviews. Okay, boys, it's gonna get toxic. Let's check it out.
I am giving Callisto Protocol a 7 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoyed this video...
What? 7 out of 10 is considered a G-spot hitter? 7 out of 10 is considered one of the best games of all time. If you're disappointed, it should be like maybe 5, maybe below 5 or something. I mean, damn, son. Let me know your thoughts, boys. Click on this video on the screen, man. This Babylon chase, we had a craziest police cop chase ever. Click on this video. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it, man. It's crazy, bruh. And I'll see you there.